In my most recent video where I looked back on Raiders of the Lost Ark to see whether it holds up today, I stumbled upon a weird and disturbing little fun fact about the film. One of the main points I made in that review is that the relationship between Indy and Marion has some dark connotations. Marion claims that she was a child the first time they had relations 10 years prior to the events of the film.
I learned to hate you in the last 10 years.
I never meant to hurt you.
I was a child. I was in love. It was wrong and you knew it.
You knew what you were doing.
Now I do.
The script puts Marion at 25, which would make her 15 when they first met. Indy would have been around 27, so already a hugely problematic age gap there, but it gets worse. When developing the film, director Steven Spielberg, writer Lawrence Kasdan, and idea man George Lucas had 5 consecutive 9-hour discussions hashing out the film script, and these sessions were recorded and transcripts exist online. I'm gonna read to you a portion of this transcript, okay? Content warning here. So for context, they're hashing out ideas on Indy and Marion's relationship. George, we have to get them cemented into a very strong relationship, a bond. Kasdan, I like it if they already had a relationship at one point, because then you don't have to build it. George, I was thinking that this old guy, so Marion's dad, could have been his mentor. He could have known this little girl when she was just a kid. Had an affair with her when she was 11. Kasdan chimes in, and he was 42, which, George, he hasn't seen her in 12 years. Now she's 22. It's a real strange relationship. Steven, the voice of reason, she had better be older than 22. George, he's 35 and he knew her 10 years ago when he was 25 and she was only 12. George, it would be amusing to make her slightly young at the time. Yeah, slightly young. Steven, and promiscuous. She came on to him. So not exactly the voice of reason anymore. George, 15 is right on the edge. I know it's an outrageous idea, but it is interesting. Once she's 16 or 17, it's not interesting anymore. But if she was 15 and he was 25 and they actually had an affair the last time they met and she was madly in love with him and he ... Steven goes and she has pictures of him. It goes on. There's other creepy stuff too, but that's the gist. So yeah, you heard right. George Lucas wanted a 25-year-old Indiana Jones to have a relationship with Marion when she was 11. Where to even begin? One, how was that not an enormous red flag to Spielberg and Kasdan? They're a little complicit too, given how easily they seem to have taken George's comments in stride. Spielberg pushes back a little bit, I guess, but not a whole lot. I want to tread lightly here since George Lucas is both a cultural icon and a multi-billionaire who could make me disappear without a lot of effort on his part, but I don't think I can look at him the same way having read that transcript. Why would you even think to want your lead character to have that kind of relationship? The transcripts don't seem to suggest he was joking at all. You can read them yourself. In the full context, it actually comes across even worse. One commenter on my Raiders video said that this was guy talk, black humor while they were coming up with ideas, and I think that was a bit of a reach. I grew up in all-male friend groups. I know how dark, offbeat, and sometimes genuinely fucked up our conversations can get, even creative ones. But to me, this doesn't come across at all as just a 36-year-old Lucas shooting the shit. It definitely sounds like this is something he wanted. If I was hanging out with people trying to come up with ideas for a story and someone was like, what if we made our adult hero have a relationship with an 11-year-old? I'd kind of be permanently creeped out by that person. I can't even think of a generous way to justify his statements. What does it say about him that this is something he wanted? I don't know. What do you all think? Does this change your view on George Lucas at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to check out my recent video on Raiders of the Lost Ark, or watch my video where I rank the top 10 most consistently great filmmakers of all time. Thanks for watching.